Let me know your biggest concern with your dog when you have people come over to your house. When I asked you guys on YouTube, do you feel you can control your dog 100% when strangers visit? 62% said yes. 37% said no. So we must have like a lot of good dog owners here in this dog community. And then the next poll is if you answered no to the previous poll, what is your biggest concern? 21% said jumping, 14% said barking, 44% said aggression, and 21% said hyperactivity. On Instagram, 33% were worried about jumping, 17% barking, only 15% aggression compared to the YouTube, and 35% hyperactivity. I was thinking hyperactivity would be #1 for both of them. If you never have people come over, and then usually it's hard to control somebody else's energy. I always lay down the foundation. I'm like, ignore the dogs. You know, we tell people how to act around the dogs.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
But some people don't, so their dogs just like run around and they get all excited, and then the person coming in is high-pitched voice, flailing arms around, look at you, cute puppy, giving the dog exactly what it wants, basically bowing down to the dog, not earning the dog respect. So then every time another person comes, that dog knows that behavior, and that's, you know, it's just gonna be a continued pattern.
So I had asked Jason to run this poll because yesterday I invited someone over to the house, technically a complete stranger, never been here, never met the dogs. And in my head, I was thinking about, how is this gonna go? We kind of have a whole plan. Like we always ask people, how comfortable are you with big dogs? And we kind of set that foundation for how the interaction's gonna go and how we have the person enter our home and meet the dogs.
Yes, and things usually happen in levels. You know, usually a dog just doesn't go from 0 to 100.
Right.
You know, your dog starts giving you cues. If your dog sees another dog and your dog's reactive, for example, the dog's typically not just like instantly explode. You know, you may start to see the dog's attention go that way. Then their hair might go up. They might get a little bit more tense. They might start growling. It's all levels. Introducing somebody new to the house in this situation, for example, I want to start like as zero stress as possible. We always text the person, when you get here, don't knock, don't ring the doorbell, just stay in your car and text us when you come, and we're gonna bring the dogs out and we're gonna meet you out there.
And that's good too, because if you think about it, yesterday this didn't happen, but oftentimes the dogs know before we do if someone enters our driveway, and they also know if it's someone we don't know.
Yes.
So there's a difference in their bark. So if it's someone new coming over and they're heated, they're barking, they're in guardian mode, and then all of a sudden we just have this stranger just walk in, enter our home, or start knocking, loud noises, that's gonna just make it bad for both parties, for the dogs and the stranger walking into the home. So we always do that, even with someone like my sister who comes over a lot, text when you get here.
If they're already that amped up, now you have to de-escalate that situation.
Right.
And then calm them down and get everything like even again, and then go have them meet them.
Right.
So if you can just prevent it from even getting to that level. And if you guys are wondering, Joey Justice is like right here laying on my feet sleeping.
Yes, I think it's helpful maybe running through our play-by-play of how we did it yesterday, because it went pretty flawlessly.
As Kara said, it all starts with communicating with the person how comfortable they are with dogs.
Which Allison said she was pretty comfortable, and she was nervous the dogs weren't going to love her. You know, she was just as excited to meet the dogs, but I knew she was a cat person. So I'm like, I don't want to assume anyone is comfortable with big dogs, because a lot of people want to meet the dogs, but it doesn't mean they're comfortable with the dogs. So that is kind of key to probe people for before they enter your house.
And then the second step to start the whole process without escalating any type of like guardian instincts and like energy levels, raising them through the roof, you know? Kara texted Allison and said, hey, when you're here, don't knock, don't ring the doorbell, just sit in your car and text me when you get here and we'll bring the dogs out.
So I came out first, I greeted her just to kind of let her know, like, Jason's gonna come out, bring the dogs out, just to kind of let her know the flow of things, so she wasn't. And
I had them in the garage with the garage, not the main door, but the man door, I think it's called. Whatever it's called. What's it called, guys? Had that open so they could hear Kara talking to someone. They couldn't see them yet. Justice was growling. Bruce was growling. I told them to leave it. Then I brought them out and I put them on a sit and stay. And then I had Kara go hug Allison. So Bruce and Justice saw that we accepted Allison in our group, in our pack. Then I went up and I hugged Allison again while they're staying in a sit and stay. Just re-emphasizing, hey, we're good. We're all like friends. That touch, the dogs see that. And right there, not with all dogs, but that can really just help your dog accept a new person coming into the house. I did the same thing with Will. I like that sweatshirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, look how nice that is.
And look at this one. Yeah. Got a whole bunch of merch, guys. If you just check out the description box below, you'll see all my merch. We have this in black and red. We have this in black and red. Also on t-shirts, plus a ton of new merch as well. Thank you for all the support in that. And
no joke, I wear this sweatshirt more than most of my other clothes.
Which makes me super happy because I never ask her to wear it.
No, I just wear it.
And she's always just wearing it.
I love it. It's one of my faves. I feel like a badass in it, if I can say that.
And no, Bruce does not have cherry eye, but when he sleeps, his eyes roll back. So you see the
a little wonky.
red in his eyes. Yeah. Every time somebody sees red in a dog's eyes, oh my God, is that cherry eye? Oh, it's the most annoying DM. After we all met, I took Bruce and Justice off a stay. Let them meet Allison. I told Allison, just pet the dog. You know, none of a lot of people do this. She wasn't doing that. I'm like, just go ahead and pet him. And
it went pretty well.
It went really well.
Bruce Justice is still pretty approachable to most people, but when Bruce runs right up and starts kind of wiggling around for the pets, that's a good sign.
Yep, he was loose, you know.
Yeah, he was real comfortable.
And then I had Kara and Allison go in the house before us. So instead of Allison entering into the dog's territory, the dogs are just following her into the house.
Yeah, that worked well.
And then, you know, just told her she doesn't have to pet them. She can ignore them.
I also went ahead and told Allison the plan. So when I first went out and greeted her, I let her know how we were going to be doing things. So she seemed very comfortable with the dogs from the start. But if you have someone that's not comfortable, I think just letting them know, this is how we're going to introduce you. This is the flow. This will work the best so that they accept you into the home could maybe alleviate someone who isn't as comfortable as she was. Because clearly she was and had good energy, and that just helped flow with the dogs. But if someone was really nervous how this was going to go, maybe just making them aware of the plan, what you want them to do. Like Jason said, oftentimes we tell people ignore the dogs when they come in the house for the first couple minutes.
It's like when somebody, if you want to go back to introducing the dogs to someone really quick, don't even tell the person, don't even look at the dogs. Talk to me, you know, interact with me. The dogs can be over here in the stay. Don't even look their way. Just like completely ignore them. Don't give them the time of day. They have to earn that respect.
I didn't know how comfortable she would be, so I had a little anxiety there just if she's not comfortable.
And I was just going to actually go there. Try not to have anxiety. Try not to have like a weird energy about yourself.
Yeah.
Because reactivity and everything, if you don't have your own emotions under control, your dog's definitely going to react. So if you're always worried that your dog's going to react, your dog's probably going to react. So you can't really control your dog if you can't control your own energy. So just try to not be anxious, not have that like nervous energy about you, because dogs a lot of the times do sense that. And then that'll be like, why is she feeling nervous or scared right now, giving off these smells, these pheromones? And there's a person over here that I don't know. They're going to possibly
He's so intuitive. You can tell when he knows. I mean, you've probably seen it in videos when something's off or if I'm sad or upset. He knows it. He sees it, and then he stares at you and he's like, what's going on?
Figuring it out.
He's trying to figure out what do you need from me with those emotions. So I think all our energy was good, so that really helped the dynamic.
And she was very laid back. She wasn't scared of the dogs at all. Yeah. You know, it was awesome. She did great with them.
Yeah. Then we brought them in, like Jason said, we brought them inside, and they just kind of continued to be very excited with her being here. Definitely not hyperactive, but they knew we've got this new nice lady here and she will pet us. So they were kind of wiggling around her, receiving love, which was totally fine. They weren't being
obnoxious about it. Yeah, they weren't demanding it.
Yeah, they weren't being too intrusive or anything, and where she couldn't just...
And then when we had... Kara did a 3-hour YouTube live. The dogs literally just slept right here on the floor in front of them the whole time.
I noticed from going to other people's homes that the experience that occurred yesterday for her, I don't feel is typical of a lot of new people entering a home with dogs. I've gone to many people's homes where the dog just jumps and jumps and jumps on you. And the owner might say something to the dog, but it doesn't even elicit an action from the dog half the time. And I feel like that's more my typical experience going to someone else's home with dogs. It's not the well-behaved will sit down if you need us to, like yesterday when Allison was in the kitchen. And they kept getting pats from her, and that was fine, but I wanted to make sure they'd respond to me. I don't think you were in the kitchen. I called them both over. I made them sit. I made them stay. Walked away, did all the things, and then let them off. I don't think a lot of owners always have that control in that situation.
And that also, like, redirects their attention to you like you wanted.
Correct.
And, like, kind of snaps that, like, I'm too excited.
Yeah.
It kind of like snaps that headspace, snaps it out of them, and like, oh, okay, I still have like to listen to what this person's telling me to do.
So my point of having you do that poll was, number one, I wanted to see what people thought. Number two, self-reporting isn't always accurate. So I'm wondering if this elicits any response in the viewers and what their thoughts are on how interactions go. And if you're able, think about if you're able to take them out of that situation. You don't just have to have your dogs meet someone and love them. And like, what is your expectations for that interaction?
I get a ton of DMs from a dog trainer who has a Corso. And I understand his point, what he was trying to make in the video, but he said, you know, one thing he said is, if you get a Corso, most likely you won't be able to have people over to your house. You're gonna have to put your dog up. That's fake news. He also said Corsos don't feel pain. Fake news.
Oh, yeah.
I understand what he's trying to do, but it was all sensationalized almost.
Yeah.
You know? He's trying to say basically, everyone shouldn't have this dog. You know, there's a lot to owning these dogs.
Which we agree with.
Yeah, there's a lot that you have to be able to control. And it all starts with your foundation.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't, that's why I wish I could just, okay, this is how you solve jumping. This is how you solve your dog's aggression, especially aggression.
Yeah.
But like, every situation's different. So like, why is your dog aggressive? Is it something that happened in the past? When people ask, how can I get my dog not to be aggressive when I come over, when somebody comes over, it's like, well, what's aggression? Like, what is your dog doing? Is it barking? Is it like snarling? Is it lunging? Is it actually biting? And then it's like, okay, like every situation's different. What's triggering this dog to do this? It really comes down to the foundation that you lay from the very start of getting your dog, getting your puppy. And that's why I'm always like so strict with like puppyhood, like so militant, like, you know, no, you can't just be loving on the puppy all the time, Karis. I'm sorry, you want to, but no, he doesn't earn that. He didn't earn that respect to be loved, and not to be loved. We loved him, but not to like be on the floor cuddling with him and massaging him
24/7, which is what I would want to do. You know, and so yesterday was kind of a reminder of how important being so regimented with the training and being purposeful and intentional with the love and the voices and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and the voices, like all the time, it's like, no, stop the baby voices.
Yeah.
You know, stop it, because it's coddling the dog too much. And
then they get confused when I'm giving them a command versus when I'm just talking to them and giving them love, right? So
too many people treat their dogs like kids. We say, yes, our dogs are our kids because we don't have kids, but we don't treat them like kids. So many people are just so soft with their dog. I had somebody DM me a week ago, I think. My dog, all of a sudden, 11 months old, I think. I'm paraphrasing, I don't quite remember. I went back in DMs and they bit their daughter when it was like 12 weeks old or 16 weeks old. And now it's like 11 months old, and it bit her. And she's like, we do everything right. We pamper the dog. I'm like, right there. I respond, I'm like, right there, you aren't doing everything right. You're pampering the dog. Yeah. Everything isn't positive in life, guys. It's like, I know there's a bunch of positive only dog trainers and they're amazing. And I don't bash positive dog trainers only, but to me, without negative, there's no positive. If there's no up, there's no down. So like, if everything's positive, how does the dog understand that, you know, there's repercussions for doing this, what they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And negative doesn't mean beating your dog. You know, taking a toy away from a dog is negative to them.
Right.
You know, everyone thinks that negative has to be harsh. And yes, most of our dog training that we do with these guys is positive reinforcement. Like so much positive reinforcement. Like even, I always say you're always training your dog, even when they're in the house doing things. Justice laid down out there the other, like, when I was eating, and I was like literally just saying, oh, good boy, Justice, good boy. Just praise him, because he just laid down all common stuff.
And when he sits down like a good boy, that's when he gets the pats. That's when he gets the praise.
So a lot of this starts with your foundation. So my suggestion, if you're having aggressive problems, if you're having like hyperactive dogs, start over on your dog training. There's nothing wrong with starting over.
Go back to basics,
go back to basics. You know, start with your basic obedience. I have a ton of training courses linked in the description box. Actually, You'll save 10% if you use code Jason. There's a perfect canine companion course, and it's gonna teach you all what you need to know through obedience, how to be the proper leader to your dog. There's puppy training courses, there's socialization courses, there's anxiety courses, there's 7 days to a perfect heel course. Like, there's, just start over and start working with your dog again, and then see what happens and where you can go from there.
Or maybe use some of our tips too that we recommended for kind of setting up that situation. If you're not setting up that new person for success and kind of laying the groundwork, maybe start there with some of those principles too, to see if it helps you out or your person coming over to your house. And
hyperactivity, you know, that's like I said, going to be a huge one. Before somebody comes over, don't just have your dogs go out there cold. Like, make sure you took them on a long walk, or let them run out in the field, get rid of all that excess energy so they're not quite as hyped up. People expect too much from their dogs sometimes. They're dogs. Yeah. You know. Yeah. You know, these guys aren't perfect. A good boy. He's just mellow. He's 5 now. He's like, I'm good. I've seen life. I'm not going to be getting into things. I'm not going to be chewing furniture. I'm not going to be, you know, hyperactive. No, and he's been in so many situations.
He takes his role seriously. I think he sees himself as a leader to Justice and a trainer, a role model, kind of a protective figure. So I feel like that in some ways has even more so fine-tuned his training and how he responds and how responsive he is.
I wish I had it in video for these guys. We had these guys off leash on the canal, taking them on a walk. Across the canal was a deer, and the deer started running, and Justice started like running too, like super like excited. And I let him run like probably like a few hundred feet just to see when he'd stop. I told him to stop. He turned around and ran back to me when I recalled him.
And then what did he do when he got back to you?
Sat right next to my side.
He literally sat right next to Jason like this and stood proud.
Yep.
And I think he was also kind of
let him go again.
Yeah.
Then he tried running back, and then I called him back again.
That was awesome.
Same thing. Yeah.
I personally thought this might be a helpful video because I thought it was a really cool experiment yesterday. It went very well. The dog energy of the person entering your home does make a difference, and you as an owner can't always control that. So you do also have to be mindful of watching your dogs and looking at their signals if they're not comfortable with the situation. Like Jason said, he was keeping an eye on the dogs and their, you know, how they were kind of looking. I don't know what word I'm looking for.
Their posture.
Their posture.
Their body language.
How they were posturing, their body language, all that kind of stuff. And just also keeping your dog's best interest in mind as well. Because they may not love everyone.
Yep, they're not going to, just like you don't like everyone, I don't love everyone. You know, your dog's not going to like everyone. Your dog's not going to like every dog it meets. Your dog's not going to like every person it meets, you know?
So. We've had people come over where they do all the right things and the dogs are kind of like, meh.
No, I don't like you.
Well, they're not mean to them. They're just a little more standoffish. They're not like, pet me, pet me.
Yep.
It's an energy thing. So just being aware as a leader of the energy and what both parties need.
And you being mellow will help.
Yeah.
We're pretty mellow people.
Yeah.
We
were super mellow yesterday too.
We're laid back.
Yeah.
These dogs are dirty, so she's got to get to bathing.
It's bath time for all this dog.
And that dog. And man, it's taking a long time for this patch to grow back. A couple people told me it's going to take a long time.
Should we nickname them Patches?
I'm like, how long? A few months? So like, no, it was almost a year. I'm like, damn.
Look at that undercoat.
I know. That's all undercoat. And let me show him Justice. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddies. All right, guys.
Be sure to let Jason know if you like this video because it was my idea.
It was her idea. All right. Thanks for all the love and support, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any of the newest videos, dog training tips, everything associated with in the description box below. Peace.